Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Brian with Texas Gun Experience, and with me I have the Masterpiece Arms DS9 Hybrid. Now this is a double stack 2011 9mm competition pistol. Now out of the box, this thing is ready to go. We were fortunate to get our hands on this, put some rounds down range, and wanted to do a quick overview for y'all. Since Masterpiece Arms really isn't the household name that some of the other brands carry, like Staccato, Wilson Combat, etc. So many people may not really know about this, which is a shame because there's a lot of good stuff going on with this handgun. So this thing is 100% machined and made in the USA. So all the parts are machined out of billet. They're not cut out of forged or cast parts. So you're gonna get some extra strength, a little bit less weight, but most importantly, really tight tolerances. So they really went through a lot of kind of painstaking measures to make sure that quality comes first on this. So all machined out of billet. Everything is hand lapped. So that means the slide here to the frame, this isn't just taking off an assembly line and throwing them together. These are actually hand lapped, meaning they are hand fit to each other. So usually when these things are built, they'll have a slide, they'll cut it, and then they'll mate that frame to it. And usually that's working it back and forth a lot with sanding stones, different materials to really get that really tight fit. There's no wobble in this. Going to the front of the gun here, it is a bull barrel, so heavy bull barrel. So you got quite a bit of material there. That does a couple things, and this is also bushingless too, so stainless steel guide rod here. But that bull barrel is nice, so you get a little bit more weight in that the front of the gun there, which really helps prevent you know, that muzzle rising. So what you'll see here is actually there's a full-length dust cover here, which is kind of interesting because I do think that they intended for this to be a competition gun, but as you'll see, there is that Picatinny rail on the bottom there. So whether you wanted to mount lights or lasers, flashlights, if you want to put a vertical foregrip on there or a grenade launcher, whatever you wanted to do, you could definitely do that. But what I found interesting is, personally I own some Staccatos and older STIs, and this actually fit in the same holster as some of my kind of full frames competition STIs, so that was kind of cool. So that means to me that there's a lot of holster availability out there on the market. But moving on, you'll see the trigger guard is very 2011 handgun style, so that looks, you know, cut the same way. This whole lower is actually one billet piece here. So this isn't polymer, this is actually metal. And it's kind of cool. So under reloads, it doesn't flex in your hand if you're gripping it too tight. And that kind of that stippling that's cut into there is really aggressive, but it doesn't tear up your hand. So you get a good purchase on that grip, which is real nice. Flat face trigger, which is pretty cool. I do like that compared to some of the curved ones. So no matter what you put your finger on that trigger, it's the pull's gonna really be the same. This did measure, and we actually measured this before we actually even read about it, at 2.5 pounds. So Masterpiece Arms actually says that these get shipped right around 2.5 pound triggers, but the more you shoot them, the more that breaks in, and it'll end up living right around 2 pounds, which is something you really want as that competition trigger. And it's noticeable so I mean, the thing is really crisp, lightweight. Most 1911, 2011 guns are known for having good triggers, and this follows suit. So real good trigger on that. On the other side here is, again, works with any 2011 mag release. So whether Dawson Precision, things like that, you can change those mag releases out. This is already tapped and threaded. So if you wanted to put an oversized button on there, you could. This is their kind of their two-tone color as well. So you'll see you have that stainless and then this real pretty blue color on here, so a little flashy. Moving on to the Magwell here, you'll see you have that big mouth, that big bell of a Magwell. This is a Mpa Magwell, and they actually come with Mpa mags and base plates as well. So again, definitely competition minded. Don't know how good you're gonna do concealing that, but it makes it really easy to throw magazines in there. It just sucks them right up. So that's really nice to have. And those Mpa base plates and magazines too, I mean, top of the line. The base plates add a little weight there too, so they drop free. So really nice. One thing to note about the magazines, we ran, you know, the ones for the DSA through here, and then we also threw a bunch of old STI mags in there, some of the, you know, newer Staccato mags. They're pretty much all the same, so had no problem feeding, you know, being able to drop freely. So there's, again, plenty of compatibility with other 2011 magazines out there on the market. So most 2011s, I mean, this feels identical. Close your eyes, it's gonna have that same feel in your hand. I don't have the biggest hands, so some of the things I really appreciate is the big undercut here underneath the trigger guard and where the frame meets. So some of the polymer guns don't, polymer gripped guns don't have that. So this is kind of nice, it's already built in there, especially because this is all, you know, machined metal. But beaver tail and grip safety are all easy to engage. The safety lever as well is ambidextrous, really easy to engage, no break-in period on that. So pretty easy to, I mean, pull from the holster, take that safe off, put rounds down range accurately. The other thing is accuracy. The gun is very accurate. So whether it's a slow, steady fire or trying to pull that thing as fast as we can under good sight picture, the thing puts effective rounds down range. So this does come with that high vis front sight and also a adjustable rear sight for both windage and elevation. One thing that they have pretty cool too is there is a plate here that is already in the gun. Just an Allen key there pulls this plate off. It does pull off your rear sight, but they do make optic mounting plates for this. So if you wanted to run, you know, RMR, SRO, Delta Point, whatever you want, they make an option for that. And that's going to depend on what class you want to run competition-wise. So, you know, this is a good setup for a limited gun. If you wanted to run it open with optics, you can. These do get shipped with 17 and 21 rounder mags. So again, quite a bit of option there. As far as what I felt, having a lot of experience with 2011s, both duty guns, competition guns, I do put this on par. So the one thing I noticed, because this was a new gun when we took it out of the package, so we didn't clean it, didn't lube it, even though they tell you to, just started putting rounds down range with it. And even after just a couple hundred rounds, I could already start to feel the gun relaxing a bit. So this right out of the box feels really tight. And what I mean is the tolerances on this thing, are very good. So that's something you want to have. The more the gun's going to wear in, the better it's going to perform, the faster, the smoother it's going to cycle, because it's kind of breaking itself in. So even after a couple hundred trigger pulls, we started to feel that. The first couple of rounds were a little snappy. I'm like, man, that's kind of a heavy gun. But after I started getting past that 100 round mark and then into the 200 round mark, it started to settle down and really feel good and similar to some of those full length kind of limited competition guns out there on the market. So price point, there really isn't a entry level gun either. So most of these hover right around $29.99, that 3,000 price point. They do have different color options, but if you are looking truly for a kind of an out of the box competition gun, just all you need to do is go out and put some ammo in it and run rounds down range. I do think this is a good option. For that price point too, you get some nice features that you don't get with some of the other brands, mostly that billet grip. So there's a lot of good companies out there making great 2011s. This is no different, but that bull barrel is really nice. There's great texture on here. They do have these slide cuts to kind of help lighten the slide, but that grip is really nice. So that's something that doesn't come cheap. So I think in that that high 2000 price point, there isn't a whole lot else that compares to how much you're getting for this gun. So there you have it. This is the Masterpiece Arms DS9 Hybrid, and this is chambered in 9mm. They do also offer a 40 cal, so depending on what class you want to run, there is an option for it. I do think out of the box, this is a great kind of bang for your buck package. There's a lot of features into this thing, a lot of benefits to you as a shooter, and I think it's going to give some of these other brands a good run for the money. But we're glad we got a chance to share this with you because not too many people know about the Masterpiece Arms or those DS9s. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please throw them down in the comment section. If you'd like to see more videos like this, subscribe to us, and as always, we'll see you guys on the range.